Good morning, everyone. We're going to get started. First, I'd like to welcome all my fellow veterans and all the citizens for coming out on this blustery November 11th. Thank you very much. You honor us. You honor all of us veterans with your presence today. Before I get started, I would like to recognize some of our distinguished guests. Senator Edwards, Representative Turco, President of the Winthrop Town Council, James Lettieri, the Town Council members, new and old, Town Manager Tony Marino, U.S. Navy veteran. I'd like to also acknowledge Chief Goodwin, Chief Calandra, and their men and women who keep us safe every day. Thanks for the American Legion. They look sharp. They look like they could get out there and defend us right now. The Emblem Club, One Lone Missile Man, my 1976 graduate, Steve Belmonte. WCAT, Mike Cabral, he comes out and does a great job every year. The Winthrop Transcript, Tina Marie Talvey. We also have a couple of special guests, Gabriella Blamer and Carmen Bauer. And a fellow Army veteran and our distinguished speaker today, Bo Schlichting. And I would be remiss to not mention all the teams that came out today to support us, starting with Coach Cadigan's football team that made the playoffs, the cheerleaders come out every year also. I'd like to acknowledge them. We have with us the youth soccer team, the Tigers, that went undefeated. And then last, but certainly not least, my team, the boys varsity soccer coach, for the first time in the history of Winthrop High School, 51 long years, these boys are going to hang a banner. And boys, all I have to say is one thing. How about them Winthrop Vikings? So at this time, I'm going to ask the chaplain, David Kennedy, to step forward with the invocation. Thank you.
Dear Lord, we ask that you will watch over the veterans of this land, inspiring them to serve you and this country in ever new and creative ways. Comfort our ill and wounded comrades who languish in hospitals or homes. Lighten their burdens, relieve their suffering and pain. Restore them to the blessings of health again. Amen.
Thank you. At this time, I would like Representative Jeffrey Turco to step forward, please. And the two young ladies, Gabrielle Blamer and Carmen Bauer.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So, I read in the news and I saw Phil Rona was bragging about the good work you did for our veterans, and so I just wanted to present to you in front of your whole town 2 citations, one for each of you, from the Massachusetts House of Representatives to thank you for your service to our veterans, thank you for your dedication. It's just a wonderful example of the beauty that is Winthrop. And thank you very much. So I'll read one of them. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts House of Representatives, be it hereby known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations to Gabriella Blamer in recognition of, let me do the other one, and Carmen Bauer in recognition of organizing a Lemonade for Heroes and using the proceeds to provide breakfast for veterans, showing appreciation and support for our nation's heroes. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses hope for future good fortune, continued success in all endeavors, given this 11th day of November, 2025 at the State House, Boston, by Ronald Mariano, Speaker of the House, and offered by me, Jeff Turco. Thank you very much. You guys are awesome. You want to say anything?
I want to thank all the veterans for their service. It means a lot, and we appreciate it.
If you want to do your speech, go ahead.
Oh, right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Good morning. My name is Gabrielle and this is Carmen. We're 11 years old. We started a lemonade stand this summer called Lemonade for Heroes to raise money to do special things for our local veterans. My dad is a veteran of the War on Terrorism. I also have other family members that served in the Korean War and World War II, including my great-grandfather, Edward Duffy, who was also from Winthrop. Carmen's grandfather, Carmen Campolo, served in Vietnam, and her great-grandfather served in the Korean War. In my home, my parents always taught me to be thankful and appreciative of the men and women of our United States military. They teach me to love America, honor our flag, and to be grateful for the men and women who protect our right to do so. We feel that veterans should be honored and supported, not just on days like today, but every day. They sacrifice for their country, family, neighbors, and strangers. While some have experienced support throughout their service, others have not. This is our responsibility to take care of them as they have taken care of us. I hope that our stands remind veterans that there are people who remember them every day and appreciate their service. More importantly, I hope that our stand inspires other people to give back to our veterans. It isn't hard. We always thank men and women in uniform when we see them around town. Every Memorial Day, my little brother Joey goes to the cemetery and plays taps on his guitar for the fallen. Students at the ATC made cards for us to hand out to local vets. These are just little things that mean bigger things. Lemonade for Heroes is an ongoing fundraising effort, so please stop by one of our hot cocoa stands this fall and winter, and we promise to continue to give back for our veterans. Thank you.
And I was remiss not letting everybody know that my partner in crime, Richard Honan, checked into sick call at 5:45 a.m., so I'm on my own. Next, I would like to call forward the Legion Commander, Richard Gay. Richard, I'd like you to present the girls with proclamations from the Legion, and if we can ask the girls to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. You think you can do that? Richard.
Thank you. We just want to thank you for your generous donation for the breakfast from all the veterans and the American Legion. Thank you.
Thank you.
There you go. All right, thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now for a moment of silence.
Thank you. I guess when Richard and I get too old, you girls can take over for us. I'd like to ask Tina Marie Talvey to step forward for our national anthem.
Please sing with me. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
So at this time, I'd like to ask Senator Lydia Edwards to step forward and say a few words, please.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to be your senator, but today I wear this uniform because I'm a first lieutenant in the Massachusetts Army National Guard, and I serve the people of the Commonwealth in that form. I'm also here to not only honor all of those who've served before me, but to remind everybody that there are a lot of veterans who are still fighting internal wars. And today when we celebrate them and celebrate the accomplishments that all of them have done, we need to remember that they still need us. And they still need not only the good work of the young women that you've done, to thank you again for recognizing and raising money, but they still need us in policy. They still need us to stand up and to defend them. You know, this morning I got up and we have this tradition in my gym. It's a CrossFit gym where we do Chad 1000, which is 1,000 box jumps or 1,000 step-ups on a 24-inch box. We do 1,000 in an hour. And we all do this in the name of Chad Wilkinson, who was a veteran, who was a member of CrossFit and worked out with all of us for years. In 2018, he took his life. He had served his country, he was here, but he took his life like 22 veterans do every single day. And so, please remember the eternal fights that a lot of our heroes still have. And I know Jeff and I and many of the VSOs, we do that in the policies and the service that we give to our veterans every day. But, just so folks know, we're going to promote this. The Veterans Hotline is 988. And if you need any services, also 844-647-1354. And I know it's recorded. Please remember those numbers. Now, on a lighter note, I do have to give credit and say happy birthday to my brothers and sisters in service in the Marine Corps. I know you're celebrating 250 years this year. And I will give credit where credit is due. You are, by far, the greatest fighting force in the world, right after the Army. Sorry. Well, anyway, happy Veterans Day, all.
All right, at this time, I would ask Council President Jim Lettieri to come up and say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. What an incredible show. What an incredible showing of all you people to come here to support your veterans and to thank them for all they've done for us. First of all, although he's not here and hope he's feeling well, I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to Richard Honan for everything he continues to do, not only for our veterans, but for our entire community. Your dedication, his leadership, they're all deeply appreciated, more than words can ever truly express. I'd also like to acknowledge Senator Edwards and thank her for her service. Representative Turco, Town Manager Tony Marino, and thank you as well, Tony, for your service. My fellow councilors who are here today, Vice President Belcher, Councilor Swope, DeMarco, Costigan, and Tassinari, as well as councilors-elect Millar, Dimes, and Romano, for being here today to honor us in this very special occasion. To the American Legion Post 146, to our veterans agent Phil Ronan, and to all our veterans and their families here today with us. Thank you for your service, your sacrifice, and your deep commitment to our beautiful town. Winthrop is the close-knit, caring community it is today because of people like you, people who continue to serve long after their time in uniform. And a special thank you to our principal speaker, Bo Schlichting, U.S. Army. We're grateful to have you here with us today. We appreciate you sharing your experience and perspective as we honor all who have served. Together we gather once again to honor and remember the men and women who have served in the United States Armed Forces, our nation's veterans. Veterans Day is more than just a holiday. It's a moment of reflection, gratitude, and deep respect for those who have stood in the defense of our freedoms. Our veterans come from backgrounds, different backgrounds, every generation. Some served in combat, others in support roles. Some served overseas, and others right here at home. But all shared one defining trait: a willingness to put service before self, to answer the call of duty, and to defend the ideals that make our country what it is today. We owe them far more than words or thanks. We owe them our lasting respect, our ongoing support, and our commitment to ensuring their sacrifices are honored, not just today, but every day. They've given us safety, opportunity, and the freedom to pursue our lives and dreams. It's our duty to make sure that their sacrifice is never forgotten. Let us all recognize the families of our veterans, the husbands, the wives, children, and loved ones who cared for, put their own burdens of sacrifice. Their strength and love are an inseparable part of every veteran story. To our veterans here today and to those who are no longer with us, please accept my deepest and most sincere gratitude. Your courage, your service, and your example remind us every day what it means to be an American. We are all free because of you. May God bless our veterans, and God bless our town. Thank you.
So at this time, I'd like to call up the two wonderful young ladies that honor us, and they're going to read the governor's proclamation. Put your stuff down. Take your time.
A proclamation. Whereas, since the Commonwealth's earliest days, thousands of men and women have served our country in defense of freedom and liberty. And whereas, on November 11th, 1918, after 4 years of conflict, the armistice was signed in the Forest of Compiègne by the Allied nations and Germany, ending World War I, the war to end all wars. And whereas, since that day, every November, people from around the nation have gathered to honor our veterans. And whereas, in November 2025, the world will commemorate the 107th anniversary of the armistice that ended the fighting in World War I at 11 a.m., November 11th, 1918, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. And whereas there are approximately 300,000 veterans living in Massachusetts, and whereas in the recognition of the sacrifices made by those who have served our great nation, Massachusetts remains committed to supporting its veteran community through the HERO Act, honoring, empowering, and recognizing our service members and veterans. And whereas today we are reminded of the great sacrifices and contributions our veterans have made to our country. And whereas we honor and salute those who served our country throughout the generations with honor, patriotism, and courage. And whereas it is appropriate that all Massachusetts residents remember the bravery of those who served their country, so that their dedication and sacrifices serve as a reminder of the cost of our freedom. Now, therefore, I, Maura T. Healy, Governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, do hereby proclaim November 11, 2025 to be Veterans Day.
I went out of order in the batting order. May I have Jeff Turco, our representative, step forward.
Thank you. So, just a few words. First, thank you to Winthrop for being here for our veterans. Before I talk about our veterans, though, I did want to, it's cold, it's freezing, right now it's windy. I ask you to think about the poor and the homeless today, the hungry, those that need our love and our care. You know, instead of spending the $5 on Starbucks this week or this day, you know, go donate it to the local food pantry and help people in need, because there really is a lot of need to do that. I want to thank our police and fire for what you do every day to keep us safe. May St. Florian and St. Michael the Archangel always watch over and protect each one of you. I want to recognize my former colleague in government, Peter Gill, former council president. Thank you, Peter, for being here. A few things on Veterans Day. You know, Winthrop is such a special place. You know, we always come together as a community, and we always recognize our veterans. And this Veterans Day is special. My kids in the back, they're going to laugh at me. Special for us because you grow up in a community and you say, like, what inspires kids? What makes you guys want to serve your community? What makes you want to be good citizens? What makes you want to maybe join the military? And my oldest boy, junior in college, 20 years old, you know, I bring him to a men's breakfast at the Methodist Church. The late, great Steve Stoddard invited me many, many years ago before I was involved in local government. And we'd sit at that breakfast, and my son would come and sit there, and he'd listen to these veterans, a lot of the guys over here, and listen to their stories, and listen to a guy like Frank Sawyer, a World War II vet who served in the Pacific, and talking about his service and his dedication. And, you know, and all of a sudden, my son in college, an engineer, says, I'm joining the Army. I'm in Army ROTC. and I want to do this. And so tomorrow, he begins the first official step. He did his basic camp this summer, and he officially signs up to be a member of the Army National Guard tomorrow morning in Boston, where we'll be there. And I said to him when I was taking him to Fort Knox, thank you. I said to him before he left for Fort Knox this summer, I said, Sonny, why do you want to do this? And he said, Dad, I feel like I owe the country something. And it's something so sweet, so innocent for a kid, 19 years old at the time, to say, I owe the country something. And again, I thank you, the veterans, because you letting him sit at that table, listening to your stories, inspired this young kid from Winthrop, who we didn't really talk about military service in our family, but you guys inspired him, which shows the beauty of our community. And I hope that you guys over here, the young kids of Winthrop, boys and girls, see what these guys, their heroism, their bravery, their willingness to serve. I think of this young kid, I don't know what the hell he's thinking, not wearing a jacket, but Bo. Bo Schlichting was my wife's first grade student, and I mean, my image of you, Bo, I always hear my wife saying, Bo in the back of the classroom sticking his tongue out at her, going, but I think of you when we had your going away party, or your parents had your going away party at Cottage Park and giving out the little soldiers, and my kids still have those little soldiers in the house, thinking of your service and you're willing to sacrifice for our country in the Army and now in the National Guard. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, Bo, and on behalf of my family. Thank you very much. And finally, one other thing is Walmart, it's sort of an odd thing, but Walmart is offering this thing this year for Thanksgiving that for under $40 you can buy a Thanksgiving box that feeds 10 people. And if you know of a veteran or a veteran's family that can't afford Thanksgiving dinner, or if you know of a family in need in this town that can't afford Thanksgiving dinner, call me. I'm happy to buy a box of food that'll feed 10 people. I don't care how many people call, 508-450-8843. I'm very blessed. I'm very fortunate in life. I'd like to give back. I urge you to do the same. Look at Walmart, look at Aldi. They do this, 10 people for under $40 that you can feed. And it really is something that I urge everyone to look at doing. But if you know of someone, please, no questions asked. I don't care if they live in Winthrop or Revere or not. I'm happy to help in any way. God bless each and every one of you. And thank you, Phil Ronan, for what you do every day for our veterans. You're the best VSO in the entire Commonwealth. So thank you very much.
So at this time, I would like Tina Marie Talvey to come forward again and lead us in America the Beautiful.
Thank you. I love to hear all your voices. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesty above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from the sea to shining sea. Thank you.
So at this time, it's my honor to bring forward a fellow U.S. Army combat veteran and friend and son of Winthrop, Sergeant Bo Schlichting. All right, I know it's cold.
Good afternoon, my fellow veterans veteran family members, and members of the Winthrop community. My name is Bo Schlichting, and I'm proud to say I was born and raised right here in Winthrop. At 18 years old, I made a decision to join the United States Army, which looking back was probably the first real adult decision I've ever made, and definitely the most spontaneous long-term commitment in my life. But like most things that happen for a reason, it turned out to be one of the best decisions I could have made. Joining the Army came natural to me. I grew up in a family built around service and helping others. Anyone who knows my parents, Tommy and Ollie, know that they're always the first to show up at community events, fundraisers, or to lend a hand to someone in need. They taught me early on being a part of the community means showing up for your neighbors, your friends, and for anyone else who needs you. When I was 14, I joined the Winthrop Police Explorers, and that's where I got my first taste of public service. We volunteered at local events, often working alongside police officers and veterans. I remember looking up to those men with deep respect and admiration. Serving my community on some day in my country just felt right. Growing up here, I always knew that Winthrop stood behind its veterans, and you don't have to look far to see that. The welcome home signs in front of Ace Hardware, the photo lining the walls at Center Cafe, and the flags hanging down on Veterans Road, and the familiar faces of neighbors who show up, rain or shine, today, cold, every Memorial Day and Veterans Day to say thank you. That kind of community support stays with you forever. That same sense of community gave me the confidence to travel halfway around the world to serve, knowing that my family would be surrounded by people who cared about them and were praying for my safe return. I served as an infantryman with the 4th Infantry Division out of Fort Carson in Colorado. After 4 years of active duty, 1 deployment to Afghanistan, I came home and continued to serve with the Massachusetts National Guard, spending 3 more years with the 181st Infantry Battalion. I'll never forget the day I came home from deployment. As I drove over the bridge, I saw cars lined up, police cars, fire trucks, American flags waving, and that big welcome home message on the Ace Hardware billboard. It hit me right then just how lucky I was to be driving home, because I know many of my brothers and sisters in arms never got that same chance. Today, as we stand together, we pause to honor all the men and women who've worn the uniform of the United States Armed Forces. Veterans Day is a day of reflection, gratitude, and unity. It's a time to recognize the courage, resilience, and dedication of those who served and the families who stood behind them. This day traces back to November 11, 1918, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month when the guns of World War I finally fell silent. What once was known as Armistice Day became Veterans Day in 1954, expanding its meaning to include all who have served, past, present, and future. From the beaches of Normandy to the frozen mountains of Korea, the jungles of Vietnam to the sands of Iraq and Afghanistan, American service members have stood tall in the face of challenges most can't imagine. They've missed holidays, birthdays, first steps, and last goodbyes. They've endured long nights, tough missions, and sacrifices that go beyond words, all to defend the freedoms sometimes we take for granted. But one thing I've learned is that a veteran service doesn't end when the uniform comes off. The transition back to civilian life can be tough, but veterans have a way of adapting. They take the same sense of duty and apply it to new missions, whether it's serving as teachers, police officers, firefighters, nurses, or community leaders. And while today's about veterans, it's also about their family. The husbands, wives, parents, and children who sacrifice right alongside them. I want to take a moment to thank my own family, my parents, Tommy and Holly, my sister Antea, and a new husband, Jordan, who is active duty Army and spent the last 3 years stationed in Tennessee, and just recently moved to be stationed in Germany for the next 3 years. The truth is, when one person serves, the whole family serves too. They're the ones staying up late for a call, handling everything back home, and still finding the strength to smile through the hard times. To all the families here today, thank you, because your strength makes our service possible. For many veterans here, today brings up mixed emotions, pride, gratitude, and sometimes loss. We remember the faces of those who stood beside us, the ones who didn't come home, and the moments that changed us forever. But we also remember the laughter, the friendships, and the unbreakable bonds that form between those who serve. The brother and sisterhood lasts a lifetime. Winthrop has always had a big heart, and that's one of the things I love most about this town. The way this community comes together, whether it's for a parade, a fundraiser, or a homecoming, reminds us that service and gratitude aren't just military values, they're human ones. So today, on Veterans Day, let's celebrate our veterans not only for what they've done, but for who they are, our friends, our neighbors, our family, and the backbone of this great community. Thank you all for being here, honoring our heroes, and keeping the spirit of service alive in Winthrop. God bless our veterans, God bless this community, and God bless the United States of America.
So at this time, I would like to have the ladies from the Emblem Club stand up so we can acknowledge them. These ladies are here every year, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, veteran events around the town. They are just wonderful, and they honor us every day with the support they show my fellow veterans. I'd like to have the American Legion now, please.
Ready. Aim. Fire. 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 Present. Arm. Order. Arm.
One more time, Tina. God bless America.
Please sing with me. God bless America, lands that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
All right, in closing today, a nation that forgets its veterans is forgotten itself. At one point, somebody coined this phrase. A veteran is someone who, at one point in his life, wrote a blank check made payable to the United States of America for an amount of up to and including his life. I want to thank all of you for coming. You honor us with your presence. You show us a great deal of respect, and it means so much to all of us that have served. Thank you very, very much. Enjoy the day, and God bless the town of Winthrop. God bless all my fellow veterans, and God bless America. Thank you very much.